Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here at our Wellness Hub. My name is Monica Campana, and today we have a wonderful guest. Her name is Susan Eckert, and we're going to know everything about her. Well, not everything because we have only 20 minutes, but we're going to find out her journey and what she was doing before and what is she doing today to help people around the world in their lives. Susan, thank you for being here. It's an honor to have you.
Monica, thank you so much for having me. It was such a pleasure meeting you, and I'm really, really excited to chat with you again today.
Wonderful. So Susan, tell us a little bit your background. You were working for many years in the corporate world, and then what happened?
Oh gosh. So, I came from a very conservative, strict upbringing, and my parents were like, you could either be a doctor or you can be an attorney. So, which is your choice? And I faint at the sight of blood. So that was out. And we settled and we compromised on psychology. So I got a graduate degree in psychology, and I worked in corporate America thinking this is the track. And I think a lot of us follow this track, right? We think, okay, we have to do the known thing, the traditional path, the 9 to 5. And I felt like a robot, and I did it for about 15 years. And the whole time it was soul crushing.
Wow, 15 years, it's a long time. 15 years is a
It
long
is
time.
a
And then
long
what
time.
happened? What happened? You just couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah, I was starting to get sick. I was feeling tired all the time. I was commuting. I had moved out to Long Island, which is like about an hour and a half outside Manhattan. And I was just tired. I'd had my first son. And I was just like, there's got to be something more. There has to be something more. And my soul was calling for something more, but I didn't know what. And it just so happened that I bought a series of diaries from an author. Her name is Anais Nin. And I was flipping through the pages, and I just scanned down this one page, and there was a quote that when I read it, I stopped breathing. I stopped breathing. My heart, I swear my heart stopped beating. And I realized that I was this quote. And the quote was, and then the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom.
Wow. You give me goosebumps right now. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
The
So
quote,
that's it. So that
yes.
just was the last drop.
Yeah.
The wow. And so you
I
just
like to explain it as something within me woke up, right? With that quote, every word vibrated through me. And I realized I was tied in a bud and I had to blossom in my own way. And so I had to figure out what that was. So I quit.
right there and then.
Pretty much right after that. Yeah, pretty
Wow.
soon after that, I quit. And my whole family thought I was crazy. They're like, oh, you have a 6-figure job. What are you doing? I said, I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Wow. That takes so much courage. And but at the same time, because I went through something like that. I went through something like that, very similar, that you're like empty. You go home and you're like, I'm
Yes.
empty. Like, this cannot be it. This cannot,
Yeah.
I cannot live like this for the rest of my life. There must be more. And so what did you do? How did you know which path to take?
Well, I'm a very spiritual person. And so I went into meditation on this every day, like, just waiting for my inner guidance to give me some direction. And little by little, it started to unravel. And I'm a creator. So if I've learned anything about myself over the years, it's that I am happiest when I am in the role of creating. And I can create in any way. Like you and I, Monica, are very similar in this way. I'm an artist, I'm a writer. I love to create things. I make jewelry. And so my corporate career was not allowing me to be that. And so when I left, I wrote my first book. right? I got it published through a traditional publisher, which was like, wow, everybody told me it takes forever to get published. My first try, I got published.
Wow.
And yeah, and I started developing programs and delivering them at different organizations. But more importantly, I started coaching women on pivoting in their careers so that they could live a more full life. And I think that this is happening more and more, what you said, like more and more women are starting to experience this awakening, this inner call for meaning in their lives, for fulfillment, and they're saying no to the old track.
Absolutely, absolutely. And how long have you been doing this coaching?
So yeah, I've been doing it in some form or fashion since the early 2000s. I'm coming back to it now because more full time, because what happened was I decided, I was always wanting to be an artist, and I wanted to find a way to help women and be an artist at the same time. So I said, this is the best time, is no time like the present. I'm going to give it a shot. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That was 15 years ago. I built a
And
multiple
it
six
worked.
figure. It worked. It worked too good. Because I built a very successful women's portrait photography studio. But that's when I wrote my second book, and my second book is about transformation through the camera as a healing tool. So I still had this confidence building, helping women reframe how they saw themselves through the camera. And after, I'm getting older now, so now I'm like, okay, I'm getting tired when I do photo shoots. I have to go back to the full time to the other thing, because that is not as taxing on the body. But also, my clients would come back again and again, and they would tell me their lives, and they would say, I'm so unhappy. How do I become happy like you? How do I find something that I love to do the way that you love what you love to do? So
Wow.
when I gave out my last ebook, I said, okay, it's time to, or it wasn't an ebook, it was a book I printed. I only had so many copies. And when I gave my last one away, it was like, hello, my inner self was saying, wake up.
Next.
Yeah, time to move forward and do this more seriously again.
Wow,
Hmm.
wow.
Hmm.
And so now you're mainly coaching, or that's your main are you still doing the photography?
It's
You're doing
I think I will always use that as a tool, right? So I may, it's very
you
limited
combine
now.
everything. You combine everything.
Yeah, because everybody needs something different, right? Some people need hypnosis, some people need energy healing, everybody needs mindset work, right? But some clients, they need to see themselves differently, right? And some people are afraid to show up in the world. They lack the confidence to show up. That affects them in their relationships, it affects them in their careers. And the camera can be a really powerful tool for that. So I do something called transformation photography, where there's coaching first and then there's photography.
Wow, and it's unique. I mean, that's very nobody. I've never heard this before, so it's quite original, Susan. I love it. I love it, and it makes sense because sometimes, some people are afraid to see themselves in the to take pictures. Many people don't take pictures, don't take pictures. But if you find a way to make them look amazing, which there's always a way, then they will be like, oh wow, now I see this other side that you cannot really see from yourself unless you look at the mirror. But the mirror sometimes, it doesn't tell you everything. You can't see
No,
every angle from.
the mirror is a liar.
It's
the,
true.
the
It's
mirror is
true.
a liar. There was actually an art exhibit that I was fascinated. I wish it was here, where they actually had a true mirror. Have you ever heard of a true mirror?
No, no.
Yeah, it's a mirror that is at a different, it's like at a 90-degree angle to another mirror. And supposedly the reflection you see is actually more accurate. And yeah, and it's interesting because I would always be curious about how is it that people look in the mirror, they see one thing, but then when they see a picture of themselves, they see something else, right? It's very fascinating. But as I tell people in front of the camera also, I tell them that, the camera captures a little bit of your soul, right? Some cultures don't like pictures for that reason. It sees what's inside, right? Through the photograph, we see what's inside. So when I help people understand that it's your light shining from within, that gets captured, believe it or not. It sounds like a contradictory, but it is, right? And so this is how I've seen the most, an average looking woman could come in, but she just shines, right? And then a beautiful woman who has a lot of insecurities and hangups won't photograph as well.
It's true. Wow,
Hmm.
I never thought about it, and but it makes complete sense, perfect sense.
Hmm.
It's truly incredible. So, so today, how can people find you? How can they contact you through? I mean, we have a lot of contact information, but what is your best way? Maybe calling you. I don't know, calling you and schedule an appointment. You do like discovery call, like they call it. 15 minutes, 20
Absolutely. I
minutes.
do discovery calls. It's called, the confidence breakthrough session, where we can identify where the blocks are to confidence, right? And usually the blocks to confidence are because we're not really connected with our, what I call soul seeds, the mosaic of who we are truly, and we're not reflecting that out in the world 100%. And so I see confidence and soul purpose together. That, I have a new logo that is the arrow pointing from confidence to soul purpose, another arrow pointing from soul purpose to confidence. It's this, they're both connected, they work together. So, through there, I'm on Instagram. I love Instagram, Susan.confidence coach. And then my group, I'm building a community of women who I call Lotus Women, who are awakening and saying, I'm not going to be happy doing things the old way, the old fashioned way, the masculine way, the way I was taught. I'm going to step into my womanhood, my feminine. I'm going to tap into my intuition. I'm going to connect with my soul purpose, and I'm going to fully blossom into the person I was born to become. And the group is called Lotus Woman Rising on Facebook.
That's beautiful, beautiful. And so you're helping mainly women, right?
Yes.
You're helping mainly.
Although I have had men reach out to me this last month, which is so interesting. One guy, he's like, I have a bad inner mean girl. Can I talk to you? I said, sure, absolutely. I won't say no to men, but the thing is, I feel like the needs of women are very specific, right? We're trying to operate in a masculine dominated world, and it's a very different way from what our natural way is. So I feel like women need to heal and restore the feminine within them so that the confidence breaks through. Because when you look at statistics about confidence, it's depressing. 70% of girls feel they are not enough, 80% of women feel they are not enough. And it's because we're trying to squeeze ourselves into this model that we were never born to live in.
Yeah. Well, at the same time, there's like society that is pushing, all these equality. And I don't really think, that men and women should. I mean, if you want, if you feel like it, go ahead. But men and women are different, and we're so different. So we cannot take over. I mean, under many ways we're better, but don't tell my husband. But because we can do so many more things than that.
Yeah.
But why take the space of men? We have to also remember that we're different, and we have to tap, as you said, into our feminine side, and become more confident whatever we're
Well,
doing.
I think of it like the yin yang symbol, the yin yang symbol, right? There's a little bit of both in each, right? So we have to be women, but know how to operate in the masculine world, but not all the time. And then men need to know how to be men, but also connect with their inner feminine as well, because it life is a balance. You can't be all one thing or the other, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is what you do. You bring balance to people's
Hmm.
imbalance.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
women, especially women. That's so interesting. And well, Susan, do you have, let's say, I know there are many things to say, but three tips that you can tell women to increase their confidence right now?
Yes, I think for women specifically, allow yourself the space to be, right? The doing ways of the world, that's a masculine way. The feminine way is allowing yourself space and time to just be, because that's when our intuition bubbles up and our inner voice speaks to us, and we can access this wisdom that we have access to. That's the first thing. The second thing is to allow yourself time for self expression and creativity. Sometimes people don't think they are creative, right? And it's just because they're not making space to be creative. Creativity can look any way, it can look like cooking, it can look like art, right? And the third is to honor yourself and recognize when your soul wants something and you want to go in a particular direction, but it doesn't matter if other people are trying to expect you to go the other way. Go the way that your inner voice is telling you to go. Honor yourself.
Yeah, which is hard sometimes, when you have your family and your parents and your siblings and people, friends, and telling you, "Wow, what are you doing? Why are you so, I don't listen. I haven't listened for a long time, but, so many times you get all these people and they give you, you start having doubts and you're like, oh, am I doing the right thing? But you feel it inside when you're doing, something that you truly love. And you know
Absolutely.
what?
And what would the cost be? That what would the cost be to you if you did not do the thing that you love and you gave in?
Exactly. And always try, because regret
Mm,
is worse than not doing something, and say, oh man, if I did it, if I tried it, just do it. And if if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and you try
yeah.
something new,
Yeah.
right?
Tony Robbins says fail forward fast. He said his failures have led to his greatest leaps. I believe that because if we never try, we never learn, right?
Exactly. And usually you
Yeah,
learn more from your failures than from your successes. And so
absolutely.
that's another way. Well, Susan, it's I love having you. Finally, I have you here. It's been hard, to get you, but I hope you come back, because I love sharing your knowledge. And thank you for helping, especially women around the world, with what you're doing. So
Thank you, Monica. And thank you for
that's
this beautiful work that you're doing, featuring women who are helping other people or people who are helping other people. And you are one yourself.
oh, thank you. This is just the beginning. So thank you, everyone, and until next time, Susan Eckert. Mwah! Ciao, everyone.
Ciao.